which is
Sky. What do you make of that? Would you get rid of Marcus Rashford in the summer? Do you think he's a player that the club should sacrifice, cash in on, and change up?
I would drive him to the airport. That's just my 2 cents on that.
And I'll take him to the plane. We'll switch.
I'll be
again,
here when he comes good. I'll be here.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors that PSG wants him, and I would gladly, hand him off for the money. And it's not. I don't want it to sound disrespectful because it probably did, because he has done a lot for this club, But when I'm seeing him, and it's just, people always bring up the excuse of he scored so many goals last year. Okay. That's great. But where's the consistency in that? Okay. It's like a purple patch season. I'm looking at him this year and I'm like, are you even there? What's going on? And then he has to come out and do a press statement saying, don't question my commitment. What have you done since you said that? Exactly. I have seen nothing from you for me to even try to back you up with that statement. So for me, respectfully, thank you. Like Sophia said, thank you for your service, but it's time to go. And I just feel like we need different veterans in here that can establish pride, establish hard work, establish something that we don't have. I'm seeing Bruno on the pitch. Granted, we needed him today, but I can't stand the whining. That's just me personally. I'm not that type of person. I don't like the leadership that we have currently, and that's something that we definitely need to fix as well if we're gonna get better.
And really quickly, the funny thing is, Terry, remember when Ten Hag first came in, I think me, you, and Leas were saying that, there's gonna have to be some sacrificial lambs. There's gonna have to be some really big names, big characters that get dashed out of this team, because if you want to play a certain way, some of these men just don't gel well together. So you're going to have to get rid of or sacrifice one to say, okay, we're going in this direction. And I feel like Ten Hag, the Glazers, the old board, I feel like they, as Leas would say, they cheated the process a little bit. They tried to look like they were making the big decisions when not really. Getting rid of Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't really a big decision. He sat down with Piers Morgan, for God's sake. Getting rid of Sancho was not really a big decision. You know what I mean? When it was time to make the big decision with Harry Maguire, they whiffed it. McTominay, they whiffed it. Rashford, They gave him an extra contract. Bruno Fernandes, now he's the captain. So now it's looking like Ollie 2.0 with people with bigger contracts.
I get it. And do you know what it is? Go on, Cam. I want to get your 10.
The thing is about Rashford is that he's always good in seasons when there's some consistency and everything's he needs an environment that is solid. It's you've noticed it in the seasons because you can't say he had one purple patch season. He's had multiple purple patch seasons. He had multiple seasons with 15 plus goals. He's had multiple seasons where he's looked like our best player or our future. He's also had multiple seasons where we're like, where is that guy? But you have to look at the seasons when he's been bad. It's everything around him's been bad. He's not one of those people. I don't think he's ever claimed to be. He doesn't want to be. He's not the captain of the team. He's not the guy who's going to be the vocal leader. That's not him. And I don't think Rashford's ever actually claimed to be that. So when I look at him, I think whenever we're shit, he's shit with us because he needs that environment. And United have not had a stable environment for multiple years in a row. For how long? We're talking years now. We're going over about a decade where we have not had 2 seasons back to back where we could go, nice, there's some consistency. We're making the right moves. Jose kills it, then we spend no money. Ollie has a decent season, then same shit. We don't make the right moves. We keep him on. This is it. When we're up, he's up. When we're not, and I get it. Some people say, well, we want a player to carry us in that situation. You can't have 10 captains on the pitch. I know you can have multiple. Rashford's not one of them. And that's just for me. I think his talent is undeniable, regardless of when he does dumb shit. Sometimes his talent is undeniable. He is a good footballer. When we go down left wingers, just on talent, not based on his performance, just on talent alone, go through the list of what left wingers. You're not going to find a lot that you would say I'd rather over Rashford. You're not. And I'll challenge anybody to do it. Go ahead, name me a bunch of left wingers, and I'll tell you their flaws too. People like Rafael Leao. Have you watched them this year? Not great, right? There's lots of players. The Donna that everybody was like, oh, from Napoli, I'll take him. Cool, where's he at? Right? Hit me with a player that you would say right now that we could get that you're like 100% better than Rashford.
But I think
Okay, but he's not a captain, but he's making the most money on the team. And if you think Man United, who is the first player you're going to name? Like, I get he's not the captain, but that's the face of our club. I need better.
She's right.
I
and
actually don't consider him the face of the club. I consider Bruno the face of our club.
and,
Like,
and-
that's
who? I don't
I mean,
think so.
that's the captain's armband. Says the dude who.
Nah,
that's-
Rashford's the face,
It
so.
could be both, but it's probably Rashford.
But to add, but on top of what Sky's saying, at the same time, you might not be the captain or the face of the club. It doesn't really matter which one, but your decision making is so terrible that you're inconsistent as hell. So we don't know what we're getting from you year to year, game to game, month to month. We just have to hope for the best. You're supposed to, if you're not the face at the moment, you should be moving to be the face of the team. You should be looking for that captain's armband, simply because you should understand what it's about, coming from where you're coming from the age of 7 or whatever the case may be. But we're not getting it. And every game I see him do the same thing and not learning from his mistakes. If it was a case of at least I can see him trying something else, but it's not coming off, or he's right there and he's just lacking confidence, then okay, fair enough. But the head down, I'm gonna try and run through 3 people and then throw my arms up when it doesn't work, bro. I'm tired of it, bro. And I think the problem that, obviously, Cam, I love you. You're an optimistic guy, so I'm not. It's not a shot at you. But the problem with Ten Hag defenders, with Rashford defenders, with Bruno defenders, is like they always use the argument of, oh well, who else can we get that's out there, that's available, that will be better. You can't not try to do better because you're not sure if what's out there is going to be better. You have to try something different. If you keep doing the same thing and it's not working, and you're seeing that it's not getting better, you have to try. Even if it's somebody that's not at the right quality to be better, maybe they have the right profile that will complement the other players in the team, so we can be better as a unit, maybe. But yeah,
I hear that. You can do that, but you can do that and keep Rashford in the team. That's the thing. Like, that's what I've been trying. Like, you can do that. You don't have to. Oh, you can do that. You can provide. Remember when it was Martial versus Rashford on that left-hand side and it was proper competition? You can do that. You could have players pit against each other, knowing that, hey, I'm actually going to be dropped. What I said earlier was, when Rashford makes that mistake, Ten Hag should be like, cool, you're not playing next game. Like, that's what should happen. And then that's how you teach a player, because he's doing the same things over and over, because guess what? He's going to play. And at the end of the day, like, I get it. I hear what you're saying. I hate the blind alley stuff. I hate the run it out, but that he's also got a lot of success from that before. So in his mind, he's like, well, I'm going to do what made me good before. But you don't have a coach saying, hey, guess what, dude? It's time to change it up. And if you don't switch it up, you're sitting. That to me is what kills me, because I sit there and I'm like, all it takes, like, you look at you guys watch the Euros. I love I was all on England. I thought they were going to win everything. You look at what made Rashford good at the Euros. He wasn't starting. He had to come in and he had to earn it. He had to do the right things. I bet you see something similar this year. It's like it's coaching at this point. Like, and I understand what you guys are saying. He should want more. He should be pushing for all that. But at the end of the day, coaching is so important in all sports. And if you do not coach players who have talent properly, they will fade to black. Plain and simple. They will continue to make the same mistakes. If you're not nurturing what they're actually good at, and we've seen what he's actually good at. Like, we can't sit here and say Rashford's not good at anything. We've seen it. He can play. He's got a shot on him. He's still rapid. Even though he's 27 now, he hasn't lost any of his pace. So at the end of the day, a good coach says, Rashford, you should have squared it to Højlund. You're sitting. Done. Next time you do it, cool again.
Act like he's too young. Like,
it's coaching. It's the same with. Okay, so you're going to say all the defenders who leave all that space. The coach is saying leave all that space. You're going to tell them, well, and basically now you're saying a whole team has to just go against the manager. Rashford, one thing I will say, has never, ever gone against the manager. He's always been one of the teacher's pets. That's who he is. He's always been like, whatever you tell me to do, Gaffer, I'll fucking do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's definitely on. I think it's on them. I think that's what makes these conversations difficult, because I think it's all fallen apart so bad that it's hard. It's very hard to distinguish what's the manager and what's the players, because it's all kind of blended into one. It's all a bit toxic. It's all a bit negative. Has any of you guys worked at a place where you're like, yeah, this company going bust in 3 months, bro? I'm not really here for it. I'm gonna show up, do the bare minimum, but ain't no bonuses coming my way. So what's the point of even
So
trying?
on the Rashford stuff, look, everyone knows I've got a soft spot for Rashford. I like him. I like when he's on it. I like how he plays, but I am not adverse to anybody going. I don't actually, barring Mainu, Hoyland, maybe Garnacho, because I don't think they've been damaged by the club and they're still young. I'm open to anybody going. Genuinely, don't care.
See?
Depending on who the manager is and what the system and style of play is going to be. All four of you might want Bruno to stay. But if the style of football that we're going to play in this new world doesn't suit him, he's got to go. So for me, it's more about how we're going to play and which players are suited to that, as opposed to my feelings about the individual. So I'm really open to it. We need open heart surgery, as Ragnick said a couple of years ago, and I think we need to sort of stick to that. And there'll be casualties, and we move on from it. And I don't think that it may not even be replacing him with someone that has a profile that's as big as Rashford. It may be about signing players that are not on that level. But when I look today, I wouldn't sign Justin Kluivert. But look how good he looked in a well-drilled system. He ain't that good, though.
We made him look like his father.
Yeah, no, we did today. And that's the thing for me. It's just we need people with the right mentality, the right attitude, because we may not even be back to being in the top four next year, even if the football looks better. It's going to take us time. And sometimes you've got to go, backwards before you can go forward. And what's the other, you got to cut a part of yourself off the grow. I feel like all of these sayings actually hold a lot of water in the United conversation. This year says Emil Smith Rowe would be the best footballer at your club. Stop. I would keep Ten Hag and give another manager these players. But again, bro, you're not giving another manager these players. You're going to be getting rid of a fair chunk in the summer and buying more. And then the following summer, more leave and you buy more. You can't just keep Ten Hag and keep playing this way. Because then by the time you build a really good squad, they're not going to be drilled in the system that's going to work. Because I don't care what Ten Hag's done elsewhere. The way he's making us play is not going to yield results in the Premier League. Having no midfield does not work for anyone in the Premier League. Find me a team that's won it that doesn't have a midfield. And when I say doesn't have a midfield, I mean no one stays in midfield. It doesn't work, my friend. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. You see Bruno's face looks like a ripped bag. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the looks of my football players. It's not why I watch football, to see who's good looking and who's not. Because if footballing ability and your individual success was based on your looks, Jack Grealish would be Maradona, wouldn't he? But he isn't. He's more like Luke Chadwick. The irony in that comment, Wing man like Dio's here. He says wingers in form over Rashford, Nico Williams, Kingsley Coman. I can't pronounce that other name. But yes, him. Cavadonna.
Those last two are not having great seasons.
Rafael Leao, and the list goes on. Yeah, look, again, there are people, there are loads of wingers. I mean, there's about 3 wingers at Man United. Man United in better form than him. Ahmad came on and looked better. I did want to. Rashford is 27. What more coaching does he need? Now, I will say this. Where I will defend Rashford is that he has also suffered at the hands of our club not having a proper system and a manager that's been successful in the time that he's been here. But that's also why you might have to look beyond him now, because I think there's an element of him being scarred by that. If he'd have come through 18 years of age under Pep, he'd be a much better football player, in my opinion, than he is now. And it's what, I worry about Manu in there. By the way, the Chelsea fans in the group chat, guys, are going on a mad one. They're messaging me saying, look at Manu's performance today. Wasn't that great? And you call out Enzo. Well, 1, Enzo's 23, not 18. 2, Enzo's played nearly 200 games in his career already. He's not a kid. People talk about Enzo like he's 18. He's 23. He also cost you 105 million, and I expect him to deliver, respective to his role, how Palmer's delivering for you. You should still see lots of moments in games of individual brilliance from him, and I don't think you've seen enough of it. I haven't said that Manu isn't going to be inconsistent, but he's 18. Of course he's going to be inconsistent. But Enzo Fernandez isn't young. He's not old, but he ain't young either. I swear if I'm wrong that he's 23, I swear he's 23 years old. I need to check now because I've said it. And I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, he's 23, just turned 23 to be fair, but that's not, he ain't eligible anymore for Young Player of the Year. You know what I mean? Once you get to 23, and also 200 games, and I think 25 appearances or so for his country. Like, that's not. I don't know what Chelsea fans are on today. They're on. I suppose it's all just about, can we make someone look more muddied than we are? It's crazy. It's funny. Penalty wise, anybody think it was a penalty?
No,
Which one?
Which one?
A penalty.
the one that we got.
Oh, I thought you meant the other one that wasn't ruled out.
I mean, it was a foul. It was no different to Manuel Neuer's the other night. It was a foul. The fact that people were telling me the other day, if you plant your feet, it's not a foul. I don't know where this bullshit came from. No, if you get in someone's way, yeah, no. I mean, their one was. I mean, we did get lucky with that penalty. I felt.
I think,
yeah, it wasn't a hand. Like, I get the fact that the ball was going to Rashford, and if it didn't touch an arm, it would have got there. I get that, but my understanding of the rules always been like it has to be in. Like, I think with the change of the rule, the old rule was like stonewalled. Now it's like intentional. So I think when he moved his arm out and I think his back was turned and he just turned and his arms there. You don't even know who has the ball at that point. It's put it this way, by the letter of the law, sure. But would I have been upset if it wasn't given? No, wouldn't have cared. I'd have been like, yeah, fair. I don't think so. I think by the letter of the law, because the ball was on its way to Rashford, you say, cool, pen. We got lucky there, but to be fair, on the strength of it for the whole season, how many of bad, like, we've had a lot not go our way this year. So
no,
like,
I agree.
I
agree
like,
with that. Like,